we have a USL Championship final rematch, but this time the venue shifts to the city of the champions. Lamar Batista and his boys carry the scar of last year's shortcoming as they hunt for revenge en route to more silverware. But not all faces are the same. Trevor Ammon swapped kits, bringing a new look attack to the Hounds this season. For only the fourth time since the inception of conferences, the USL Championship sees its reigning champs facing off. The title-carrying Pittsburgh Riverhounds and the payback-seeking FC Tulsa cross paths on ESPN+. Welcome one and all to the broadcast. My name is Mark Schoenster. I'm joined by Ken Levicka. Let's rewind it back to that final in 2025. These two teams did what they did best, which was collecting clean sheets, went to a penalty kick shootout. In that shootout, the Hounds went 5 for 5. Meanwhile, Stefan Lukic ran out of that playoff magic. He was denied, and that was the difference maker. They'd win the title, the Riverhounds. They'd go over to the Steel City corner there in Tulsa, and what a season it was, and it's kind of looking similar here in 2026, Ken.
Almost exactly similar. Pittsburgh Riverhounds, 23 points on the table July 29th. Last year, the 23rd point on the season for Pittsburgh collected July 29th. 19 goals scored ahead of the pace. This is a Pittsburgh team that really looks a lot like last year.
And although it may look like last year, there's some new faces, including some returning players, including our player to watch, sponsored by Modelo.
It's going to be really refreshing to see Sam Bassett back in the Pittsburgh Riverhounds 11. This is his first start since May the 30th. He came off the bench twice the last 3 matches. He is going to be in the starting 11 tonight for Pittsburgh.
He's looking to give them a spark. Meanwhile, in the same way, FC Tulsa still trying to find their offensive groove in 2026.
Yeah, they're above the playoff line, and we know FC Tulsa, defense, defense, defense. It's what they rode to the final a year ago. But 18 goals, that's not going to get it done, especially in the Western Conference.
But they've added a little bit new juice to try and fix that problem.
Kimi Ordonez, the 22-year-old Guatemalan from Loudoun, he is going to make that first start. Got 26 minutes last time out. He is a winger. He can play striker. He is extremely aggressive, and he might be the piece the Tulsa attack is needed.
So sprinkle a little bit of new with the tasty base of recent history. We've got a delicious matchup coming up for Italian Heritage Night, so I hope you came hungry. The Hounds and the Scissortails are coming up next on ESPN+.
At FNB, we're not just changing the skyline of Pittsburgh, we're reshaping the landscape of banking, building a new headquarters in the Hill District, making a billion-dollar impact in our region, fueling growth, revitalizing neighborhoods, creating opportunities. Because when our city rises, we all rise. Your bank might do business here. We're building a brighter future here.
Can your bank do that?
Welcome to FNB. Let's get started.
Our blueprint at 84 Lumber started with the simplest of ideas: hire good people, provide excellent service, add value. From that foundation, we created our structure and shaped an industry. We build projects, homes, dreams, neighborhoods. We build careers, lives, futures. We build success. 84 Lumber.
We welcome you back here to FNB Stadium, where the Pittsburgh Riverhounds and FC Tulsa are preparing to do battle here for this midweek championship rematch. Mark Schoenster, Ken Levicka with you. Tonight's starting lineups are presented by Icy Light, brewed for victory.
Rob Vincent has Sam Bassett back in the 11, healthy enough to give that a go. Dequa, for the first time in 3 matches, not up on the top of the formation with Trevor Amon. It'll be Charles All instead. 2 changes from the last match for Pittsburgh in the back, both on the left side. Welcome Etu, welcome Asamanu.
5 players who started in that final, starting in this game as well. It's 4 for Tulsa.
And we have the starting debut of Kimi Ordonez here tonight off that left wing for FC Tulsa. Batista, Sissoko, Daniel, 3rd straight match that they have been a trio, really fortifying that back line. Injuries had decimated that from May, June, and into July.
I'll be happy to have him. Meanwhile, Dane Jacoman, Pittsburgh native, in between the sticks once again for goal. Alex Tambakis still working his way back. He's on the bench, but not 100% just yet to be that leading man in the goalkeeping position. We have got some eccentric kits today, Mr. Levica. The chromatic 3rd kit for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Meanwhile, it's the Route 66 Centennial kits for FC Tulsa.
I mean, those are absolutely wonderful. They pop, they stand out, and that's what you have to do in 2026, right? It's all about branding, and sometimes you got to step away from the tradition. Absolutely wonderful.
Both teams getting ready for this one to start. Already a lot of pomp and circumstance surrounding this game, also Italian Heritage Night, so I'm hoping we get a Gabba goal in this one, Ken. Brandon Stevis is our head official. And we are off and running here from FNB Stadium. It is a 2025 final rematch between the Riverhounds and the Scissortails. We appreciate you watching here on ESPN+. Mark Schoenster, Ken Levica with you here. You can see our names up on the screen, a little bit of alphabet pasta there. A lot of letters.
I also think you meant, with this being the USL Championship final rematch, a little bit of Pompeii and circumstance.
Ah, very nice. Very well done.
Already have a couple of bodies on the deck here. That was quite a collision on the far side. Sissoko for FC Tulsa.
These are 2 teams that are not afraid to meet a game with some physicality. Junior Etu and AB Sissoko, both on this collision here, as you mentioned.
And that's Etu, who just has his head down. He's paying attention to the ball. That's an accidental collision. Looks like the hip of Sissoko is bothering him. He, of course, just coming back from injury over the last 2 weeks. But that big frame, he took that contact, and it looks like he's all right.
Jacoman launches this one down the pitch, talking to Rob Vincent, the man in charge of the Riverhounds, and was the coach for Pittsburgh in that final last season. Mentioned the scenes with the fans after the game in that final was the thing that he remembers the most. They sent him, the whole team, off from training on Thursday, as we've got another player down. Quite the start to this matchup.
And it looked like it was Etu who came up over the top. No, it actually was Jackson Walty, it appears. And yeah, that is some big contact in the back.
Danny Griffin
took the worst of that.
Ouch.
Well, 2 big collisions in about 90 seconds to start this match. Can't say I'm surprised.
I would say fire up those ice baths, but that would be kind of an oxymoron, so just get them ready to go. Let's take a look at building a win presented by 84 Lumber. Ken, what do these 2 teams need to do?
Pittsburgh imposed the game. What does that mean? Rob Vincent saying this week, when opponents come into our place, the uniqueness of this place and the dimensions of this pitch, we dictate. The opponent doesn't matter. We take it to the opponent because we know how to play here. Final pass execution. FC Tulsa, the 2nd fewest passes of any team in the USL Championship and the 2nd worst accuracy in the championship. You have to find a way to score goals. There needs to be more quality in the final third.
You talk about defending your home ground when circling back to Pittsburgh, and that was maybe the only thing that Rob Vincent said could have been better about that final, is if it was in Pittsburgh, but they celebrated with 200 to 300 fans who bust down to Tulsa for that game. And now that little corner they celebrated in is expanded all the way out to the whole stadium here for this evening's matchup.
But you mentioned that, Mark, only 1 point out of the last 3 home games for Pittsburgh Riverhounds. That is exceedingly rare.
And if you want to pile on the bad news here, as Rob Vincent looks along, this is just the 4th time ever since the USL Championship broke into 2 conferences that we've had a championship final rematch the next year. The team winning has not won yet. 2 losses and a draw, so that's good news for Tulsa, bad news for the Riverhounds. It seems like when you got a little bit of that payback, that revenge on your mind, however much space that occupies in Tulsa's brain at this point in time, it seems to be a boost if we look at the empirical data.
These 2 teams are so tremendously similar. They both this season, and last year for that matter, relied defensively. In the attack, they both have struggled. In fact, Pittsburgh, they have the 2nd least shots taken, attempted of any team in the USL Championship. You have to figure that out. These are fundamentally sound teams. They are going to knock you around. It's how they win. It's how they pick up 3 points. But you can't expect to repeat your path to a championship like a year ago for Pittsburgh or the final like Tulsa.
Pretty emblematic of what you're saying. Over the weekend, the Riverhounds, a 1-0 loss against Rhode Island. As we now look at tonight's injury report, brought to you by Allegheny Health Network, the official medical provider of the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. You see Tulsa starting to get back into health. Mentioned Tambakis, who's on the bench. Meanwhile, still got some time before Bradley Sample and Beto Idrach will be ready to go once again. I'd love to have them back.
Tulsa's hoping here in the next month or so you have a couple of notable players come back as well. Both these teams have really been wrought with injuries, but most importantly, they've stayed above the playoff line.
You just got to be in the conversation at the end of the season, as this run is made by Joel Songwa. More recent addition, but worth noting, this isn't his first match he's played here at F&B Stadium here this season.
Songwa, a bit of a heavy touch. He's got good speed, but he doesn't have as good a speed as he needed to get by Ozumanu, who had the angle. Made a nice defensive play, conceding the corner.
This is a Cohen Markets corner kick, the first of the evening. It's played short. That one ends up taking a glance off the boot, so we'll get a 2nd corner kick in a row. Just on the note of Joel Songwa, back in March, started against the Hounds in the Open Cup for Steel City FC. Played for FC Tucson in between then and now, and here he is again. This time in the professional ranks with Tulsa. That left a little something to be desired. Songwa on the ball. Trevor Ammon on the ball, shrugging off some contact, eventually drawing the foul from Kocheski. It'll be a free kick for Pittsburgh. Mentioning that 1-0 loss to Rhode Island over the last weekend, a game that Rob Vincent described as an okay performance. He felt they managed the other team and broke them down as the game went along, but there's just that execution issue that resulted in them, well, not scoring. Under-hit crosses, over-hit crosses. He thinks if they played out that game several times, though, that they don't concede a lot against that Rhode Island team, but they were able to get the best of their one chance. This ball scuffled over to the right-hand side. By the keeper it goes. Bailey Sparks was able to best Nico Campuzano. That was not enough to score, though.
That ball checked up in a wicked way. Look at Campuzano. Look at the spin on that. He comes up. He does get a hand on it. It's an awkward ball. Sparks is over to get the touch on it. Sparks, if that does not take the sideways hop that it did, if it has a little bit more pace on it, he's probably able to slide it by Campuzano.
Bailey Sparks, 23-year-old Texan from Inter Miami too. Been a fixture over on that right wing side for FC Tulsa this season. Team coming off a 0-0 draw with Lexington at home. A game that was very hot and also had a lot of starting and stopping, so a choppy match. Head coach Luke Spencer mentioned that it was tough to get a flow in that game, but similarly to how Pittsburgh feels about Rhode Island, they felt they limited Lexington's chances throughout the majority of that game, really. It wasn't until near the end when they were pushing for a goal themselves that things started to open up and both sides had an opportunity to get all 3 points, but neither could.
Both managers have been so even keel, even though things have been choppy, a little bit ragged, a ton of expectation when you're coming off of making a cup final a season ago. But you're right, Luke Spencer saying, hey, the aggression was there. The execution for the most part was there. There wasn't a ton of flow. It happens, it's football. For Pittsburgh, Rob Vincent saying, yeah, we win more often than not a match like that. And in this spot, I'll just take draws the way the month of July has gone. Those will come. Those are the ebbs and flows.
They'll try to make something happen here. Bassett back in the lineup. Tries to dance by Weber, and he's fouled.
That is nifty from Sam Bassett, and that's what he returns to this Pittsburgh attack. He has played not even 50 minutes since May 30th, and it happened in the last 2.5 weeks. He gets hooked on the toe, down he goes, and a dangerous, dangerous free kick opportunity inside the opening 10 minutes.
We'll see if they can take advantage of this free kick. Try to bend it around the wall like macaroni. 10 minutes in. These two sides once again getting acclimated with each other. See Bassett and All behind this dead ball, facing off with Danger Coman. That one goes straight into the wall. All has a look at it. Able to keep the ball in the attacking third for the Hounds. Foul committed by Tulsa, so free kick incoming for Pittsburgh. Rob Vincent described this Tulsa team as very similar. Of course, you have a little bit different personnel, but Luke Spencer, a guy who's very clear in his ways, direct on the ball, go forward quickly, aggressive defensively. And he acknowledged, as you've pointed out, the amount of similarities with this team, one of which being both sides are kind of looking for goals right now. So this is something that each of these teams will be hoping to catch into as we get into the later months of the season.
At Pittsburgh, the 19 goals. That's tied for 5th fewest in the league, and FC Tulsa is 1 goal behind them. But you look at the 0 goal differential for Pittsburgh, and they are one of only 2 teams above the playoff line that does not have a positive goal differential. But again, last year they were one of only 2 teams in the playoffs that had a goal differential and had a lesser amount of goals than any other team that was in the postseason. So this is not rare air. This is not foreign territory for them. They rode these numbers, this style, this approach to a championship a year ago.
As the old moniker goes, defense wins championship. So as long as you've got that part covered, and then you can hope the offense starts to click at some point in time. But it's also possible to scrape by, as Logan Dorsey will try to streak forward. He has a go, he scores! Logan Dorsey with a distant strike puts Tulsa ahead.
The ambition, the power, the conviction, it was all there. And then, oh yeah, the accuracy to tuck it inside the post. That was absolute beauty. And FC Tulsa, for all of the issues we've talked about with them scoring and how hard it is come to find anything consistent in the attack. There is nothing like class to finally break through. That is well earned.
Logan Dorsey, the loanee from the Minnesota United FC camp of things. His third goal of the season, and what a strike it was. He was not part of that team that was bested by the Riverhounds last season, but he will shoulder that burden regardless and dish out some payback and go, hey, this model of FC Tulsa, we're ready to do some damage just like last year and maybe just that fraction bit more.
What a start.
Fans, please remember that FNB Stadium is a family-friendly environment.
This will be
but also do so in a responsible way.
an interesting shakeup to this game because, Ken, you wonder, we talk about how stout these two teams defensively are. You wonder how long that 0-0 scoreline holds in a game like this because it could go the whole 90 minutes. We saw it go 120 last year. A goal, though, that changes the paradigm here.
Well, Tulsa, when they do score first, they pick up a result. So that is massive. Pittsburgh, they have lost, or they have picked up 1 point, I should say, in their last 3 at home. That disturbing trend at least continues where they're going to have to fight back. And Pittsburgh Riverhounds had 4 straight clean sheets. They've now conceded 5 times in the last 7.
And find an answer as Logan Dorsey has put his team ahead. Jamie Weber getting the assist there. Certainly one of the easier assists that one will rack up. His 4th of the season, though that's not counting his 3 in cup competitions. Lucas Stauffer, one of the starters for FC Tulsa coming into this game. Mentioned, yeah, we saw Pittsburgh in the final last year. It was a fantastic game. They put together a good season so far, so fans can look forward to a good matchup, and certainly Tulsa fans can even be happier now how this one has started. Logan Dorsey with a smashing finish.
Now, Mark, we were talking about that goal differential as it stands in the USL Championship table and how Pittsburgh Riverhounds, one of only 2 teams that did not have a positive goal differential coming into tonight above that playoff line. Now at -1, the only other team is Miami. They're at -7, and they sit in the Eastern Conference playoff picture. The East is bizarre this year. Other than Tampa Bay, the way everybody is bunched up, and there's still so much time. We're just past the midway point. It's going to be fascinating.
Let's take a look at tonight's Chatham University fact of the game. Tonight's opponent is FC Tulsa, the same club the Riverhounds defeated to capture the 2025 USL Championship, the first league championship in club history. The title was secured in dramatic fashion as Pittsburgh prevailed 5-3 in a penalty shootout after 120 scoreless minutes, forever cementing the Hounds in club history. And FC Tulsa not taking kindly to that fact, having scored in the first 15 minutes of this one. Logan Dorsey able to bend it home, getting it past the outstretched arms, the very limber arms of Nico Campuzano, who is more than capable of making a stretching save, but it was just too perfect a hit.
I mean, one way to put an al dente into a stout defense like Pittsburgh is to just take a chance. And that's exactly what happened. That was quite a hit.
They could be hunting for more here. Weber, well, that one's scuffing into Bailey Sparks. Not the intention, but they do keep the ball. And here he is again. Sparks cuts it aside nicely for Weber. Weber has a go! Off the left post! Oh man, that was sizzling.
Pittsburgh right now, they're gonna have to make a decision. Do we come up and start to cut off space and maybe press a little bit, or are we gonna allow these pockets where FC Tulsa can line it up? Because it almost hurt them for a second time. At some point, there's gonna have to be some pressure.
Showing some nice spaces in that attacking third, FC Tulsa.
This actually was a better hit from Jamie Weber than we saw on the first goal, but it clanks off the post. But man, that was one touch and go. This does not look like a Tulsa attack that has struggled here, especially over the last 6 weeks or so. But again, there's so much space. There's so much space to put a touch on it and then make a decision and then fire. Pittsburgh Riverhounds is going to have to cut off the space.
Brandon Stevis, our head official, drawing some boundaries here as we get this one going once again. You talk about looking good offensively. How about this being the team that you look good against? Always notoriously a stout team defensively, Pittsburgh. And FC Tulsa doing some damage in this one early on. Campuzano, oh, that's a mess. And he's lucky he had a teammate in front of him to bail him out.
Well, Campuzano got caught in between, and I don't think that's entirely his fault because the defense is flat-footed. And this goes to how they're defending potential shooters right now. There's just indecision. Who needs to be where? The timing is off. And Campuzano, he had to hesitate because he thought he was going to have it ushered back to him, and he did the right thing coming up and playing that ball, but it almost cost him. Went off his shoulder and took a wild carom. Man, is this all out of sorts here early for Pittsburgh.
Worth acknowledging a little bit of rotation in the starting lineup for the Riverhounds coming into this game, including on that back line, Alal Osamanu, just his second start in league play this season. Junior Edsu, just his fourth, being paired up with McCoy and Barnes, who have been more regular starters, but you're looking at Lassa Kelp and Victor Souza on the bench, who usually are the other two in that back line. Now, it doesn't just fall on those four guys, it's the whole unit that has to defend, but it is a fact worth acknowledging here. An opportunity for some of these guys to show their coach they deserve to be starting more matches, but it's not been the most promising of starts in that regard.
FC Tulsa, and this is rare, ahead in possession. 5 touches in the opposition box, and we're not at the 25-minute mark yet. I mean, this has to be a thrilled Luke Spencer right now on the touchline.
Batista shielding off the pressure from Bassett. Ordonez will carry it along. Tried to use the outside of his boot, it falls back to him. Ordonez stumbling, ref says play on. And now a long ball for Ammon, and he's able to press onto it. He's all by himself though. Sissoko's in front of him. Ammon awaits backup. Ultimately, it's an empty-handed effort for Pittsburgh. And Tulsa now try to push the other direction quickly.
Tulsa, one of the least dynamic distributing teams in the championship, and it's Pittsburgh tonight having a hard time picking out anything of consequence, but it's because FC Tulsa is putting pressure on. They are pressing. They are suffocating.
Watch the USL on ESPN this Saturday for a championship battle of powerhouse teams from the Eastern Conference. First place Tampa Bay Rowdies aim to keep the top spot with a win over the reigning Players' Shield winners, Louisville City FC. That's Saturday, August 1st at 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. Mentioned the craziness of the Eastern Conference. That'll certainly be another one that will have a lot of eyeballs on it over here on the East Coast. You want to talk about confidence boosting when it comes to finding your scoring feet, Ken. That's just the 6th time Pittsburgh has conceded in the first half this season, which coming into this game, 5 goals, lowest across the league.
And now you're in a familiar spot where you got to see if you can atone for what happened against Rhode Island and have an answer, find a way to equalize. And we know Rhode Island is stingy. Tulsa's right up there when it comes to stingy defense. You got your work cut out for you. Especially when you don't have a single opposition box entry, 23.5-minute mark.
A lot of calculating will need to be done here by Rob Vincent. Riverhounds want to see if they can get the likes of Sam Bassett, Trevor Hammond going. Bassett missing some time after got his heel jammed when they were playing Charleston. Fun little thing. Sam Bassett, his brother Cole, also a professional player in the MLS with the Timbers. He mentioned right after the game, he knew immediately what happened because his brother had the exact same injury and he went in the dressing room. Yep. I'll probably be out for about 5 weeks, and it was basically on the dot. He was out 5 weeks, so.
Yeah, what a diagnosis. To my knowledge, he doesn't have a PhD, an MD next to his name. That was quite the call.
Usually players, too, are always about the, oh, I'm good, I'm fine, I'm all right.
No, you know, 5 weeks.
I can play again. Nope, I got it right down to the science.
I'll see you in July.
I'll have myself some pastina as I recover and get myself good again, and then...
And then Pesto Changeo, you're back in the starting 11.
Pesto Changeo. Dane Jacoman, a man from Pittsburgh, played in the Hounds youth system before going over to the DC United Academy. Then he would go on to play at Penn. So talk about people who are smart. That's someone who's up there.
Yeah, that's a prerequisite.
8 clean sheets while he was there, playing at the Ivy League school. One of the things coming into this game that this Tulsa team was looking for was more timing and execution in that final pass, as that one's caught by Jacoman. Here's a long ball over the top. Makes its way over to Campuzano in the corner. But you've talked about the composure of these two coaches, and when it comes to the woes that each of them may be facing, Luke Spencer mentioned, despite maybe some of the offensive struggles, this one slipped through. Dorsey knocked away by Campuzano. This time the goalkeeper, the better of the interaction.
Dorsey with a wonderful horizontal run. Look at that, he just sneaks right behind Ozumanu. Well done by Campuzano to see what's happening. The outstretched right hand making contact. That is a strong playthrough, though. Dorsey is such an available target.
Another Cohen Markets corner kick here as Jamie Weber hunts for a second assist. In it comes. That was swinging directly onto goal. Forget about assists.
Yeah, I'm not sure he was purposely attempting the Olympico, but if Campuzano doesn't make a play on that, that's what's happening.
Once again, it's sent inside. Weber have a chance to hit it again. That one lacking a little bit of the spice it needed. And it'll sail over top. Fans of the Riverhounds return to FNB Stadium on Saturday, August 8th at 7 p.m. to take on Sacramento Republic FC. Be one of the first fans through the gate and take home a limited edition ammo hype train collectible giveaway. Supplies are limited, so arrive early, get loud, and cheer on the Hounds. Get your tickets now at riverhounds.com. Funny enough, the next home game for FC Tulsa is also against Sacramento Republic, so both of those guys have, or both of these teams, I should say, have that to look forward to on the horizon. Here in Pittsburgh, though, it's a little bit further away.
Just a tad. And what a setting. And I'm a broken record every time I call a match here, but what a setting. This to me is the quintessential American soccer landscape right here in Pittsburgh. The river, the skyline, all of it. I mean, it's just perfection, especially a night like tonight.
Let's get to see the Steel City. looming in its horizon.
I mean, how can you not be romantic about that?
The only thing we're missing up to this point in the game is the ball getting into the water, which is an often common occasion at Riverhounds games. And then you add in the train going through.
Yeah,
you
the
get some of
train
the boats.
as well, exactly.
It's just all so, as you mentioned, perfect.
I mean, how can you not love it?
Right now, FC Tulsa are on the hype train in this one, nearly 30 minutes through. One goal, courtesy of Logan Dorsey. And they've been the more likely to find a second. Stauffer trying to parry that away to a teammate, that is, as they'll get it back.
All a nice recovery. He overran the ball, allowing possession to continue for FC Tulsa, but then the interception. Pittsburgh needs to find some of the ball here. Flip the pitch just a bit at the half-hour mark. Because there is no rhythm, there is no flow, and right now there haven't been a ton of ideas for Pittsburgh.
It's been a bit of a roller coaster ride as of late for the Riverhounds as far as their results. You got wins, you've got losses, no draws as you acknowledged already, so it's either all or nothing as of late, and that can be difficult to manage, those emotional highs and lows. And Rob Vincent said, well, I mean, I guess that's my job to keep the squad even keel, but you know, you're human, you have that, it's gonna come, and that could be a good thing or a bad thing if you can harness that intensity, emotion in a good way. He felt like they did against Lou City. And as we keep hammering home, both of these coaches feel like the performances as of late have been at least bare minimum fine. It's just about tightening some of those screws and turning some of these results over into a more positive light, which sometimes those margins are very thin between wins, losses, and draws.
Yeah, they're all results worthy, but you have to get the results, and that means you need to tweak a little bit. With Pittsburgh, you have had a tough time scoring. But then defensively, Pittsburgh, again, has conceded 7 times in the last 5. So are you concerned that the defense is getting leaky as we take another look at this? Ooh, that's head-to-head. That is head to temple. And that's more physicality with Sissoko involved.
And he was given a yellow card for that infraction, his 4th of the season. He was, I think, the first name we uttered after kickoff due to his collision with Junior Etu. So someone who was already on the mind of our head official, Brandon Stevis, from the opening moments of this match. Bassett swings this one inside. That header had some pace on it, but certainly not enough accuracy.
Well, there's your first shot for Pittsburgh. And that was a well-placed set piece right onto the head, just a little bit wide. But there's some life. There's a little bit of a pulse there in the Pittsburgh attack.
Trying to get that man into some dangerous spots. Trevor Ammon, 5 goals this season in league play. He's got 4 more in cup matches.
Well, the roller coaster for Pittsburgh, you lose at home to Brooklyn. You lose on the road at Jacksonville. Then you have the historic masterpiece, and that is the 2nd time that Jacoman has done that. Where he just boots a ball out of play. But then you have the 1-0 loss at home to Rhode Island. So you've had 3 losses and a victory in your last 4. That victory just happened to be, I mean, in his history. But, man, you haven't picked up results other than that. So you have to find a way to manage your emotions there.
Right.
Because how glorious was that? National television, packed house. But it doesn't change the fact that you desperately need some results here to give yourself some separation from where you sit 5th coming into tonight and then the outside of the playoff line.
Bassett trying to break some lines here. Dribbles it over to the right-hand side. Here's All. Back out to Walty. That one deflected in off the boot of Danny Griffin. Tulsa have been pretty stubborn when the ball has gotten to this point. Fans, watch the USL Championship in Spanish on 2DN, the nation's leading Spanish language sports network. Go to uslchampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings.
Lamar Batista, he was our FC Tulsa player to watch tonight. Second team USL Championship a year ago. He leads the team in clearances with 77. And this is always going to be, under Luke Spencer and this system, a really strong, frustrating back line. But when you're able to have the three-headed monster of Batista and Sissoko and Daniel, it's been a long time up until the last 3 weeks since they were able to play together. And what a benefit it is as you head into the home stretch, the back end of the season, to have them there. Not only are they consistent, but you trust them. You know what you're getting with them.
And well, that's exactly what you're looking for from guys on your back line. Another free kick incoming here for Pittsburgh. Looks like All's going to leave this one for Sam Bassett. 35 minutes into this game. Looking for a sign of life, the Riverhounds, right in front of the Steel Army. Curling in nicely, it falls down in the penalty area. Ordonez able to deliver a bump and help his side win the ball back. Weber quickly launch it over to the right-hand side. That's Songwa over there. You just talked about that back line of Sissoko, Batista, Ian. These last two matches, and now I guess you can count this one to make it 3, were the first 3 since April 15th that all 3 were in the starting lineup. So that's significant because when you have that consistency, even if you're talking about guys on the back line, the confidence starts from the back and goes forward, right? And when you know you've got guys behind you that'll help you out, if you make a mistake, then you feel more of that courage to go forward and take those chances, make those runs.
And again, the system lends to FC Tulsa being stubborn, but you need talent to really maximize it. And that's where Ian and Sissoko and Batista come in. It's an embarrassment of riches back there because it's physical and it's quick, but maybe most importantly, it's smart. There is major IQ back there.
Hammond surrounded by a lot of that IQ there as that one is ushered out of play for a Tulsa throw.
One thing, if you're Tulsa, you need to look out for, you're starting to give up some set pieces here for Pittsburgh. You don't want to put them in an advantageous spot with them having so many issues in the run of play, keeping possession, getting into the attacking third of the opposition box. Don't gift them.
Yeah, all it takes is one properly executed set piece routine, and then suddenly you could be looking at 1-1.
We saw the last set piece whipped into the box, and it was precarious for a moment.
Long ball sent from Barnes. All. Pops it to Bassett. He takes a couple of tugs. Now it's Mertz. Robbie Mertz with 2 jerseys in front of him. He'll tap it back. Griffin plays it out wide and now got a body down in the penalty area.
Kuchevsky.
So that'll halt anything there for the home side. FC Tulsa once again back in the driver's seat.
I think it was Bassett and Kuchevsky that came together there at the top of the box. You'll see too when Pittsburgh's in the attack that Trevor Emmett, he is not a player that wants to come up and play deep. come up and receive the ball in the midfield and then come forward. He's more of a stay around the box, get touches in the box, linger, roam a bit. Dikwa, when he's on the attack for Pittsburgh, is available as a substitute tonight. He's the one that'll come up into the midfield. So Ammon, he is attempting to play deep, but it's not really what he's most comfortable with. And I think that's affecting Pittsburgh a little bit tonight, trying to stay in possession, trying to create dangerous opportunities. Now, conceivably, Bassett should be able to help that process, but let's not forget, this is the first start that he's getting in 2 months.
Yeah.
So it takes time to acclimate. Played 22 minutes against Sporting Jacks. He played 12 minutes against Rhode Island on Saturday, and that's been the extent of it.
You got to get your soccer legs back underneath you, and also just the wherewithal and understanding of what the guy to your left, your right, and in this case, the guy in front of you is moving and doing. Walty, dish it out to his left. Junior Etu. Not a lot of real estate there as that glances out for Pittsburgh throw. Robbie Mertz will give that responsibility to Walty. Wipe some of that sweat off on the LED boards.
That's what they're there for.
Very expensive and not very effective sweat rag.
Uh-huh.
Curling effort, straight up in the air. Jacoman able to claim it. It's knotted up by Batista.
There you see the good positioning of Lamar Batista. Right place, right time, and it ends up being a fairly easy job done by the keeper.
5 more minutes left to go here in the first half. Logan Dorsey in the 13th minute, putting Tulsa ahead as this one bounces out. Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. From the grassroots to the pros, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Read that hyperlink once or twice.
Yeah. Sometimes I dream of it. It's just embedded in my cerebral cortex.
Wake up, Select. Hop on my computer, Select. Eat some ravioli, Select.
That's right. Well, there hasn't been a ton of action here over the last 10, 15 minutes. That's just the way FC Tulsa wants it. They'll feel like a 1-0 advantage is more like 2-0, 3-0. This is a confident defensive side. I'm not sure that Rob Vincent pulled the trigger on a halftime substitute, but I have to imagine, especially with this being Sam Bassett's first foray into the starting 11 in quite some time, you could see an early hook in the second half.
Well, worth acknowledging something else to add into that mixture of computations. They go all the way to Oakland on Saturday. Meanwhile, on the flip side, Tulsa don't play till Wednesday of next week, and it's at home. So you go home after this game, and you can think about throwing whatever you need to at this game, whether it be some more reinforcements to see out this result, or should things change at any point in time, you can throw anything you want at this game. Not as much concern about a quick turnaround. Junior Etu playing his case to Brandon Stevis. The decision has been made.
We'll see Etu come over. He's trying to play this ball. It was inadvertent, but he does catch Ian, who goes down clutching his ankle. And while he's frustrated, there was not much of a retortellini.
I like this, Ken.
I wish every night was Italian Heritage Night.
They're selling apparently spicy Italian sausage sandwiches at
As
the
they
game,
should
which,
be.
oh, that sounds delightful. Ask Rob Vincent, apparently pesto pasta is one of his go-to.
Yeah, and you know what? I think everybody goes through phases. When I was a 20-something, I'm in my early 40s now. When I was a 20-something, heavy on the red sauce, you could handle it. It was okay.
Yeah.
But then, as you get older, obviously, many of our gastric situations start to break down. So I was a little bit of actually a big chicken Alfredo guy. But then that got really heavy. And because it's so heavy, that started to show on the scale. So a couple of years ago, I made the conscious decision, go the pesto route, maybe a little bit of oil or a light garlic sauce. And you know what? I think I have found the happy medium there.
How about that?
So I'm on the same page with Rob Vincent.
You're watching USL Championship Soccer on ESPN Plus, where you get a little history, a little soccer, and a little bit of gastric talk.
That's right. Cuisine and stomach.
It's the whole darn package.
That's right. Couldn't ask for more.
Jamie Weber will play this one short to his midfielding counterpart. Chesky will swerve it in, claimed by Campazano. Looks like he wanted to distribute that one quickly, but didn't have any good options. It's been a flowing game up to this point, 45 minutes through, which means we're only going to get one singular minute tacked on. We got some good halftime content coming your way after this. Of course, we'll do our usual stuff of looking around the league. We got a couple other games of the USL happening tonight. And then also some individualized content, including an interview with Robbie Mertz. So be sure to leave your phone, your TV, whatever you're watching this on.
Spaghetti a drink and come back for halftime.
Exactly. Heads up. Bet that cameraman doesn't usually have to worry about any splash zone activity with a ball coming his way.
So history, gastric talk, and some 3D football.
Exactly.
Going right at you.
Before you know it, we'll start making sure every single TV's got a sort of fragrance to make sure you can smell the arena as well.
I love it.
So after one half of action, FC Tulsa trying to dish out some payback here. Logan Dorsey with the lone goal in this one to give Tulsa the 1-0 lead.
Two instances of attacking brilliance, one off the post, and then, of course, there is the goal from outside the box. Very disciplined so far for FC Tulsa. Pittsburgh needs some adjustments to find anything in the attack.
So that's the first 45 plus one done. We've got another 45 coming up after halftime, but we got some great content to kill the time in between then and now. So we'll step aside briefly. When we come back, we'll get you that content right here on ESPN Plus.
Here in Pittsburgh, strength, pride, and teamwork matter. Just like at Home Genius Exteriors, a top-rated roofing, siding, windows, and doors contractor. Call now and get 50% off roofing materials, plus no payments till 2027. And we're proud to offer an extra 10% military discount. Schedule your free, no-obligation home inspection today. Call 412-528-6526. Home Genius Exteriors, proud sponsor of your Pittsburgh Riverhounds.
In 2025, Pittsburgh proved once again champions live here. The Pittsburgh Riverhounds, USL champions, built on grit, strength, and performance. And when it comes to protecting your home, there's a champion there too. Pella Windows and Doors, one of the most trusted names in windows, built for performance and proud partner of the 2025 champion Pittsburgh Riverhounds. And for fans, get 55% off installation and an additional $500 when you mention the Riverhounds. Pella Windows and Doors, built like champions.
We welcome you back here to the Steel City for halftime, sponsored by 84 Lumber. FC Tulsa with the lead 1-0 over the Pittsburgh Riverhounds in this championship final rematch. Well, we're in Pittsburgh, and there's not much more Pittsburgh on this Riverhounds team than Robbie Mertz. So we got a little halftime interview here to indulge you in.
Okay, so you're from the suburbs of Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Right? So what was that like growing up here?
Well, I think I got a big part of really the Pittsburgh, the tradition and the culture from some of my family, because I have grandparents and great-grandparents that put their roots down in this city and who were a part of it, I guess, more at the time that people think of Pittsburgh with like the steel mills and the rivers and what they meant to the United States in general. So I definitely have a part of that history in me, but then from the sports side of things, obviously I grew up on the Steelers, Penguins, and Pirates, and that really runs deep as well.
And so you obviously grew up playing soccer here, and to be able to come back and be here as one of the leaders of the USL team, what is that like?
It's been a dream, honestly, that I don't necessarily think I had at a young age, and you'll hear people at this club talk about how much it's grown, and so I do think now we're getting to a point where kids growing up in the area, they aspire to play for the Riverhounds, which is incredible.
So this is it, right?
Yeah, this is it.
All right, should we check it out?
Yeah,
okay.
let's do it.
This is great, thanks.
You can definitely feel it when you walk in there. It's like, you know you're in Pittsburgh.
Okay, so when you think like classic Pittsburgh, what are things that make something classic Pittsburgh?
I think it always has, whatever the place is or the person, like it always has a little bit of that grittiness to it.
Yeah.
And I think people from around the country kind of recognize that in Pittsburgh as well. I know that like, again, when you talk about like the reputation in national context, like I've gone away to school, I know like how people view Pittsburgh and everything, but like we really like embrace that, we embrace our history and like who it makes the city into now.
So for you, you went to Michigan, you played there, coming back to play here on this team for the Riverhounds. I mean, that's a different level of like your roots. What is that like?
I didn't really know how much it would end up meaning to me.
Yeah.
But again, like with just my career kind of coinciding with this new era of the Riverhounds and like the growth that we've seen in this community, like it's just amazing to go around and to meet some of the kids that come to the games and,
so cool.
And see how they look up to me in a way that I never would have expected.
So I'm just gonna swap these
proper
around.
just on paper and everything.
Yep, just on paper. We slide these apart here and basically smash the sandwich. Smash it down, pick what side you want, and dive right in.
My kids would love this. This is amazing. It's a dream. Cheers.
I'm getting hungry looking at that. I might go grab some food here real quick during this halftime break. When we come back, we'll take some look around the league.
Unreal. A jaw-dropping leveler. Stoppage time draw. Wonderful finish in the USL.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
And well
Prinks tires in the USL help soccer journeys everywhere to drive harder. From city playgrounds to suburban sidelines, from early mornings to late nights, from fun with friends to winner takes all, from the biggest fan to the biggest heart. And at every turn, Prinks tires will be there for the long haul.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way. Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power. Trusted for over 100 years, our proven blend of camphor, menthol, and essential oils tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger, so that you can rise above pain and get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
In 2025, Pittsburgh proved once again champions live here. The Pittsburgh Riverhounds, USL champions, built on grit, strength, and performance. And when it comes to protecting your home, there's a champion there too. Pella Windows and Doors, one of the most trusted names in windows, built for performance and proud partner of the 2025 champion Pittsburgh Riverhounds. And for fans, get 55% off installation and an additional $500 when you mention the Riverhounds. Pella Windows and Doors, built like champions.
Back here for more halftime content, brought to you by 84 Lumber. FC Tulsa leading the Pittsburgh Riverhounds 1-0 after 45 minutes. But it's not the only game that's taking place right now across the USL. Mark Schoenster, Ken Levicka with you here. Kevon Lambert has put Loose City up early against Birmingham Legion. That goal in just the 6th minute of action. Also, given the fact that these are the only 2 games here, I guess I'll just give you a quick update. USL League One, it's 2-2 at halftime between the Greenville Triumph and AC Boise. So that game be pretty crazy after 45 minutes. Yeah. So gotta love that. There's gonna be a lot more action over the weekend though, Ken. Looking at these games, any of them stick out to you?
Yeah, San Antonio, they get a win at Brooklyn over the weekend, so they're back to winning ways despite some inconsistency. Tampa Bay, Loose City, Saturday night, ESPN2, main event right there. And then I will be in Miami for Miami and Detroit City. Miami above the playoff line, and they score a ton of goals against one of the classes of the Eastern Conference.
And it doesn't stop there. A lot of more games to be had later, including the Pittsburgh Riverhounds playing the Oakland Roots. Weekend off for FC Tulsa. Also worth checking out Las Vegas Lights, Phoenix Rising, 2 teams that are currently outside looking in. But that West, I tell you, it is cluttered. If you get a win, you suddenly catapult up the standings. If either of those teams get 3 points, they could suddenly see themselves in like 5th, 6th place. So it's just ridiculous. With that in mind, we got some more about the USL to talk about. Dan Lucas is going to take care of you. So we're going to hand it over to him, and he will give you the halftime update. It's all you, Dan.
It is halftime in the USL Championship. Time for the headlines for the week. I'm Dan Lucas inside the USL studio. Olex Anderson of the Las Vegas Lights made club history last week by scoring a goal at the 42nd mark of the match against Detroit City. That's a Vegas record and the fastest goal in the USL Championship this season. By the way, that 1-0 victory makes it 3 consecutive road wins for the Lights. Now, despite that highlight, it was a tough week to score goals. The goalkeepers in the championship posted 10 shutouts in 13 league matches. Ethan Bondre of Loudoun United led the way with 9 saves against Indy 11. Hartford Athletics' Anthony Siaha made 6 saves in a shutout. Next season, Atletico Dallas will make its debut in the championship, and this week, the club made some immediate noise announcing the signing of the great Chicharito. Yes, Javier Hernandez, the longtime star of Mexico, Manchester United, Bayer Leverkusen, and many more, will return to the pitch as Atletico Dallas's first ever player signing. A pair of upcoming national spotlight games, Richmond Kickers and New York Cosmos in League One next Wednesday. Next Saturday, it's Monterey Bay and New Mexico United. Both matches are on CBS Sports Network. This is the USL Halftime Update. Let's get you back out to your match.
The rookie E-Draft stand it and secure a title for Pittsburgh. 26 years! Pittsburgh Riverhounds, 2025 USL Championship winners!
Our blueprint at 84 Lumber started with the simplest of ideas: hire good people, provide excellent service, add value. From that foundation, we created our structure and shaped an industry. We build projects, homes, dreams, neighborhoods. We build careers, lives, futures. We build success. 84 Lumber.
Oh my gosh, okay.
Stop searching. Start a video visit with an AHN expert anytime, any day. At AHN, we see you.
Let's look at the halftime highlights brought to you by Corona. Mark Schoenster, Ken Levica with you here for this wonderful finals rematch. And it starts with the goal. Logan Dorsey getting it started.
FC Tulsa very much on the front foot. And look at Dorsey, charge towards goal. He gets a favorable hop off the turf, and it allows him to launch. And Capizano sprawling to his left-hand side. There's no way he's getting that. That is all class. And then FC Tulsa almost hit him again. Look at this attempt from Weber. An even better hit. This one, though, off the post. Big-time warning shots from FC Tulsa early.
And it would just keep piling on for FC Tulsa. Just keep lopping that rigatoni into the ball. They're enjoying the offensive spells, but this time Campuzano able to deny the shot.
How about some sauce on that distribution, but Campuzano able to cut off the angle. Almost a second for Dorsey.
Here are the halftime stats here, which are presented by Restano Heating and Cooling.
5 shots for FC Tulsa, Pittsburgh with 4 of them. Look at the possession. FC Tulsa, possession not necessarily their thing. 53-47, and Pittsburgh going to have to adjust in the attack to get back into this.
So, we are all ready to go here. Both sides are lined up, itching to get things going once again. We switch ends. The Hounds going right to left. The Scissor Tails going left to right. Brandon Stevis, our head official, in the yellow, as we get the new meta in corner kicks. Just smash that thing into the corner. So we're gonna get 2 changes here. The Riverhounds in particular making subs. And it'll be Albert Dikwa checking in for Ammon. So each of the primary strikers for the Riverhounds get 45 minutes, presumably, in this matchup. And then Elliot Goldthorpe subbing in for Robbie Mertz.
The question, stick with your original starting 11 that didn't bring much in the attack. Orzo makes some adjustments at halftime, and that's exactly what Rob Vincent does. And so, lasagna to the pitch, it's Dikwa who's gonna come in and try and give more size to this attack for Pittsburgh, and then Goldthorpe taking out Mertz, really looking for more on the right side. These were almost completely necessary. You can't wait and wait and wait on this, especially with the defense of Tulsa.
Well, this second half starts the same way the first half did, which is with players going to ground.
Tough to see if Sparks stepped wrong or if he took a spike there with Etu and the kick up.
Bassett curling that one in. Dished out of danger. So up to this point in the game, 1-0 your scoreline as we get the second half going. Although you see the shots may look similar as far as the count is concerned, it's certainly been Tulsa who have had the more dangerous moments in this game, and well, they have the goal to show for it, but The Hounds will be trying to flip that script here with Albert Dikwa, or Chico, subbing into the game. Someone who has, of course, had some explosive years in the USL Championship. 6 goals this year in league play. Had 1 more in the Brinks Tires USL Cup.
You'll see him give Pittsburgh the ability to play deeper into the midfield, try and generate out of there than what Ammon's able to produce for you. And we've seen Dikwa, we've seen Ammon on the pitch together the last 2 matches coming into tonight, but Rob Vincent opting to swap one for the other. We'll see if that changes fortunes. FC Tulsa has really controlled this match. Not only the score line, but the tempo, the possession. What a road performance. Guess we shouldn't be surprised though. Saturday, you had 7 road sides win in the USL Championship, and 9 of them got results. This 2026 season in the championship is really, really bizarro world. It's a lot of fun.
The only thing you can expect is the unexpected. Goldthorpe, having just subbed into the game, goes down.
He's not happy he didn't get the call. I suppose there is the elbow in the back there at the last moment by Ian, but there wasn't a ton there, and Goldthorpe clearly propelling himself into this surface. I say rightful no call.
Brandon Stevis in the same wavelength as you. Goldthorpe, one of the guys who was a part of the Tulsa team last season, had a goal, 2 assists, and did not play in the playoffs though for Luke Spencer. Ammon was another guy who was on that Tulsa team though. Didn't play a ton in that final. He's now subbed out of this game, of course, but just an example of that. Although these 2 teams have a good chunk of returning players from last year's rosters that can remember that game, there is also a lot of new names out there who are trying to leave a new impact here in 2026.
Well, the difference tonight then.
This one sent through, poked by the keeper, Charles All. Not enough speed to get there before it crossed that byline.
What a pinpoint accurate, perfect weight distribution from Walty. All did his best in traffic to try and control it, just a bit heavy. At the last moment, Jacoman got into the eyesight, into the peripheral of Charles All, and that probably made the difference. But man, what an excellent ball from Walty. You could not hit it any better, trying to play right over the top.
Just string that Linguini to his teammate, and Charles All, almost. It remains 1-0. FC Tulsa will heave a sigh of relief. Now both sides have had a situation where a striker has had the ball past the goalkeeper, and sometimes it's not as simple as that's just an automatic goal. So
right. Rotini bit too much of a touch by All.
Here's Sam Bassett back in the starting lineup after missing a couple of weeks. Etu poking it inside for Goldthorpe. Swerves about, it's gashed away by Weber. FC Tulsa trying to make the team that lost in the final 3-0-1 in rematches the year following a championship game. So these rare occasions have benefited that team.
Now the mere presence of Dikwa has flipped the pitch a bit here. This is a good response from Pittsburgh, asking some questions.
Here's Logan Dorsey. Goal scorer in the first half of action. We're talking about what they need to do in the back half of this season. Said that it's all about buying in, and when we're bought in, we're hard to beat. So we want to take it one match at a time, trying to make it 3 points at a time. 3 points are currently in hand. Well, it's just a one-goal game, and as you already mentioned, Pittsburgh trying to make this one more of a question. And really, they did for the majority of that first half. It's kept in nicely. Sparks. That's rolled back to a bad spot. But how about this from A.B. Sissoko? Well, he felt good about it at the time, but it will be a foul.
And that is what Dikwa provides. He has such an imposing frame, and he's not afraid to throw his body around, and that was case in point. Wins possession back, but then they give it right back.
Kucheski. Out to Songwat. Service in. Flipped along by Sparks, but it's straight at Campuzano.
And Pittsburgh, near disaster, because they have been pushing in the opening 8 minutes or so of this second half, and that giveaway, and that was a couple of inches different direction away from making it 2.
Jacoman lunging to make that catch. Low ground reception for him. Distribution, though, leaving something to be desired. Aaron Barnes. Pittsburgh will once again have possession in the attacking half. Ordonez. Take it the other way. Ordonez in the penalty area. Does he have an option? He lays it back to Weber. He could have a hit. He takes it. It scuffles about. Claimed by Campuzano.
That's another Edgar Snyder and Associates save.
Logan Dorsey's going to be sick. One, that is lovely footwork from Ordonez. And that is just sitting precariously. Dorsey just couldn't find any way to react quick enough on this quick surface.
That ball's going to move quickly when you play on turf.
Tulsa could have put a Cappellini on this match.
That's at least like a 9 out of 10 right there.
You know, I appreciate that.
That's a good one.
Very rare pasta. Actually, couldn't even tell you what it looked like.
Well, if they can put a Cappellini on the match, it looks like 3 points.
No doubt.
That one will roll out, and Jamie Weber flexing on Junior Etu as he escorts that ball across the line.
As he should. That is just a I want it more type of defensive play. That's the type of sacrifice. That's the type of effort that you're looking for.
Soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats. And we even got the clergy in the crowd right now. Everybody getting out to a Riverhounds game. No one's safe from the World Cup fever, Ken.
Absolutely not. Might be over, hasn't ended. Its spirit lives on.
Oh, we got some people playing a throw-in that was taken by a fan.
Nice catch out there. You deserve yourself another mini soccer ball.
Alal Osamanu will toss this one back into play. When it comes to finding more goals, Rob Vincent said that they got to take more risks, find ways to get into better positions and execute. Could this be one of those moments? All is able to keep it in bounds. But Lucas Stauffer recovers nicely after streaking back.
Again, just phenomenal 1v1 defending. Just the ability to recover, the ability to display footwork, to keep that in play, to win the ball back, to play it into your defensive half and back into the Pittsburgh half. That's just really, really good execution.
Just going out of play for a Pittsburgh throw.
But this also shows, and sometimes it's a coaching cliche, take it game by game, take it game by game. This is a perfect example, if you're FC Tulsa, of the goals aren't coming, let's just make sure we go 90 by 90. And they have gone really consistent, fully focused footballing tonight after a really frustrating match.
At 2. Well, that's a pretty good ball, but no one there in the 6-yard box to receive it. Just a couple of steps behind it.
If you think about it, you're scoreless, 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 can't figure anything out. Tonight you get that early goal, and now you're in your comfort zone, and you're executing that comfort zone really, really well. We said in the opening half, 1-0 with FC Tulsa feels a little bit like 2-0 or 3-0, and that's what Pittsburgh is experiencing right now.
Hold up from Brandon Stevis as, once again, Ian is down crouched. At back 3, something they haven't had a ton of this season, at least the preferred 3 that they want. Batista, Sissoko, and Ian. Danny Griffin on the ball, will roll it over to his right. And the Riverhounds, who have been on the ball for the majority of this second half, which you acknowledged is usually the case too in FC Tulsa games, that they're the side that's allowing the other team to have possession, and then once they get it, it's a quick punch.
Pittsburgh does have 13 second half goals this season, but they are already outside of their most potent windows. They led, coming into tonight, USL Championship in goals in the opening 15 minutes of either half.
Ordonez working his way forward, trying to get it back to Stauffer. That ball is just popping around in the box.
Pittsburgh asking for a handball. They might not be wrong.
Play will go on. Weber squares it over to his right for Sangwa. Roll it down to Sparks. As Tulsa trying to enjoy the ball a little bit over here. Screws are a little bit more tight here in the second half from the Riverhounds side of things.
Sangwa's had a good match tonight. That was not his finest moment. A bit clunky there along the touchline, but valuable time in possession, allowing FC Tulsa a bit of a breather.
Osamanu. Chuck it back into play. First changes for Luke Spencer, readying themselves.
From mac and cheese to Italian pasta classics, Asian noodles to fresh salads, their menu is full of
Oh, the guy's talking about pastas now.
What a night.
Visit them at their Market Square location today.
Well, you know, the difference between tonight and the final between these two sides.
Hit me.
We do have a goal. That went to penalty kicks.
Some will roll their eyes at that one. I am not above it, though.
Because you're a cultured man.
Yes.
You're a man of class.
Sometimes you just gotta let it rip, and that was a respectable take. At least in my book it is.
I appreciate that. That's all I need, is your support there, your validation, and I'm fine.
Hey, listen, you gotta have the unified front on the broadcast.
That's right. If you don't have your broadcast partner, who do you have?
Well, Tulsa have 2 substitutions here. I saw Ian ailing a little bit, so he will be subbed out. It's kind of nice to have Delens Pierre on the bench to sub in, so he will take his place. Meanwhile, Khalilo Medkar will sub on for Bailey Sparks. So we'll see what that front 3, what the positioning looks like now for Tulsa. Will Kimi Ordonez come over to the right-hand side, or will Medkar play on the right here for Sparks? These dynamics are going to be a work in progress with Ordonez, with the rest of these guys, but he's certainly shown some quality as this night has gone along. Might still be learning some of these players' names, having only been signed last Friday. Ooh.
No, foul regardless, even with the high wire act at the edge of the box. FC Tulsa has done a nice job of keeping Dikwa in check.
He was tiptoeing on the Tortellini there. Ball lopped to the top for El Medkar. If he can get there. Samanu able to shield him. Allowing Campuzano to get the restart.
And this is going to be evaluation time for Luke Spencer. This is the first time that we're seeing El Medkar and Ordonez on the pitch for the first time together, I should say, for FC Tulsa since Ordonez joined the club.
Speaking of first times, we got 2 subs here. First off, Max Vieira for Sam Bassett. Not the first, but Yu Sukanome. Entering the game for Perrin Barnes was announced just a couple days ago as a loanee from the Seattle Sounders. This is an electric player joining the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, a guy that Rob Vincent identified and very quickly gave the thumbs up to. They knew they were lacking a little something on the attacking side, especially when they took some injuries. Got a little exposed in that facility, and Yusu Kanome not only is going to help them, but give them a different look. He called him a 9.5.
Yeah.
A guy who can both play in the box, but also get in between the lines and facilitate.
I thought that was a great way to describe him. And it's not in between in a negative sense. It's in a versatile sense. It's in a dynamic sense. So speaking of evaluation time, we just talked about the FC Tulsa side. I am willing to bet Rob Vincent is really locked in right now, as if he wouldn't be already, but what can you come in and do immediately?
Dikwa in the right channel, plays it back. Here's a lovely looking cross, knotted down. Griffin trying to keep this in question. Walty will play it back to McCoy. You wonder how many minutes they were planning to give Sukanome in this game, and then they see just the struggling offensively and thought, shoot, let's get him in there and let it rip. This is a guy who last year in MLS Next Pro scored 18 goals.
Rob Vincent said he's fit, he's going to be in the 18, we feel he's ready to go. So I wonder if the 65th minute was already the plan.
Here's a long distance effort, can it dip down? Not quite in time, it lands on the roof of goal. The gumption, almost delivering there.
Well, Mark, you said earlier, Rob Vincent told us this week, we need to take more risks in the attack. It's been FC Tulsa taking the risks, and it's paid off.
Goldthorpe That one tricky to deal with. Still loose. Kacheski gets a piece of it, but not fully. Looks like there was a handball there and a free kick ensuing.
So that heads off the crossbar, not intended. But Jacoman able to read it. And then the turnover at midfield. And Capizano is beaten. He is off his line. He would not have gotten to that if it was struck just a bit more cleanly. Jamie Weber, who's had a really nice game for FC Tulsa. He has done all the little things well. He has been able to hold possession, and that would have been a career goal right there. But what instincts? Looked up and decided, I'm going to go for it. This is a new look FC Tulsa.
Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights. Plus hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 in the Sirius XM app. I mean, just quality player, Jamie Weber, just to sort of wrap up on your thought there. I mean, he's done a little bit of everything in this game, and that's nothing new for the man from Cape Town, South Africa. Just been a staple on this team ever since he joined the club last year. Tulsa hunting. Sukanome on the ball. Got some space in front of him. Yu Sukanome with an option to his right. He'll take it himself, and it rolls harmlessly to Dane Jacoman.
Well, everything was great up until the moment of truth, but you saw it on display. What Rob Vincent's so excited about with the man coming in from Seattle. The speed, the track speed, he was able to grow the distance between him and a quick Jamie Weber. That was exciting. I mean, line the line.
And I mean, that's not something we've seen up to this point in this match. So
not at all.
You talk about new look.
What a change of pace.
Please and thank you. Joel Sangwa, excuse me. Toss this one in. "20 more minutes to go." Goldthorpe punching it up the pitch. So both these teams sort of in similar situations as far as the standings are concerned. The Riverhounds right in the muck of it in 5th place right now. Tulsa currently, if the result holds, would go all the way up to 3rd. We were talking about the Western Conference earlier, and 3 points can get you so far up the table. They were certainly not in as favorable a spot as 3rd before this match started. But the fact of the matter is the table is not something that Luke Spencer's trying to identify and look at. He said we don't get carried away looking at the table. It's always next game up for us. We look at what we can control and being process-oriented. But that challenge grows as the season goes along. How can you keep taking it one game at a time without getting distracted by, oh, we're here now. Oh, now we're down here after a bad game. Oh, we're up here again. I mean, that could get exhausting really quick. And as the season goes along, that tension just builds higher and higher. And the question is, well, are you going to make the playoffs? Or are you going to host a playoff game? Or can you compete for the 1 seed?
I suppose you just go out with urgency. Not much separates you from where you're at above the playoff line to being outside the playoff line. I mean, look at the West. Las Vegas was down and out. They didn't look like they were going to be a player at all. 3 straight road wins, including going to San Antonio, who is right near the top of the Western Conference, and then right after that, going to Detroit City and picking up a win and seeing a victory through for 89 minutes and change. So all of a sudden, Las Vegas is right there. And in the East, if you're Pittsburgh, you're in a similar spot. Hartford can't score, and they're 1 point out of the playoff picture. So it is so wide open. But it also means you don't despair when things don't go well.
Right.
If Pittsburgh loses, and there's a further discussion to be had about how this venue no longer a fortress, if that takes place, because that's their third home loss in the last 4. But you can't panic because it's all there for you. And as Pittsburgh showed last year, all you have to do is get in. They lost 2 of their final 3 going into the postseason last year and then ran the table.
You just got to get in the dance. Here's Weber. Has a go. McCoy takes that one for the team. Yeah, to wrap up that thought, Luke Spencer says, if we focus on training well, preparation, and execution, then the table will take care of itself. Whether that be 6th place, whether that be 1st place, whether it be 3rd place, which is where they currently sit.
How wild is that?
What a race it is. And it only gets more and more intense as the season goes along.
Kevin, tell me about it.
Gonna get a substitution here as Owen Dom gets back into the mix here, subbing on for Sungwa. Dom, one of the 3rd-year guys on this Tulsa team. Not many of them. So Sungwa go to the bench. Good shift from him. The Riverhounds return to FNB Stadium on Saturday, August 8th at 7 p.m. to take on Sacramento Republic FC. Be one of the first fans through the gates and take home a limited edition ammo hype train collectible giveaway. Supplies are limited, so arrive early, get loud, and cheer on the Hounds. Get your tickets now at riverhounds.com.
Well, Dom getting the Fellini of his first 5 seconds in the match, commits the foul right away on Dikwa.
With just over 15 minutes to go. Talk about urgency. It's gonna have to start kicking up here for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Goldthorpe sending it into the box. Jacoman got the ball, lost his footing. He'll take that exchange though.
Jacoman's been a bit busier in this second half. He's had to be tough, he's had to be physical, and he has answered the call to this point. But that defense is efforting. There is desperation out there to hang on to this advantage.
Well, the defensive effort is what this Tulsa team leans on. Stefan Lukic said it himself. Our defensive focus over the last few weeks has been where it needs to be. We are a good defensive team. That's our identity, and we take great pride that everyone defends, even the players up front. Osamanu for Pittsburgh here, trying to generate something against this vaunted defense. The part that's missing right now is scoring goals, is what Stefan Lukic said. I'm sure it'll come. We just need to stick to the process, analyze, and see where we can get better and then do it. Launched cross, nodded away.
Make no mistake, this is not usually the team you get right in the attack against.
Right. Sukanome trying to shift inside. Now Etu could not bypass Ordonez, who has adopted that everybody defends mentality rather quickly. So, another change occurring here for Pittsburgh. Lassa Kelp in for Osamanu. The young German trotting out. Started every game he's played in as far as regular season matches are concerned, so this is his first time coming off the bench in a league game. Etu with the curling cross, easy for Jacoman.
That's the second time that Etu has tried to blindly, desperately whip a cross in, and they both have been dangerous. They both have had good pace, but Dikwa hasn't been able to time a run right because FC Tulsa constantly has a body on him.
Dikwa pokes it to his right. Charles All, a hunting cross that Goldthorpe can't quite corral. It was a tough ask. So it'll be a goal kick. The USL Championship and League One are on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN+. Go to uslchampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings.
Better looking pressure, Alforno Pittsburgh. At least making this back line think about it, forcing some turnovers. You just don't want to slip up and allow FC Tulsa a chance to close this out with a second goal. But FC Tulsa appears to be in full hunker down mode now.
It's around that time of the game, isn't it?
And it's always unsettling when you have number 9 in chromatic white lurking with that speed and those strides. No matter how much class and how steady you are defensively.
We're watching just the 4th USL Championship final rematch the following season since the founding of conferences in the USL. FC Tulsa trying to keep the pattern going, which is that the team that lost in the final gets a little bit of payback, just a little bit of vindication the following season. Up to this point, 2-0-1 are the league runners-up in the return match. Trying to make it 3-0-1 here. Dorsey, the man who has put them in the lead, plays it across. And Khalil Ahmedkar maybe wasn't expecting it to reach him due to the sliding challenge in front of him.
That was almost the mistake we were talking about. If you're at Pittsburgh, you've been starting to hit FC Tulsa with jabs. You almost gave it all away.
They have absorbed, and they have absorbed. And FC Tulsa are just about ready to lash it back at Pittsburgh. Ordonez, what can he do with some space? Kimi Ordonez taps it forward. Some lunging challenges here from Tulsa are unsuccessful. Here's Sukanome. We tried to lay it off. He had two different options, and it got caught between the two. And now Owen Dahm will survey forward as it's poked away. Two more changes readying for Luke Spencer and his crew. Trying to walk out of here with 3 points. See this over the line. Goldthorpe turning it up the field. Sissoko trying to shrug off Dequa. Able to keep it in bounds, but his teammate Owen Dahm cannot. Etu eating it into the middle, and well, even if Junior Etu was on the same page as Danny Griffin there, it would have been a tough sprint to catch up to that pass. So, two substitutions here for FC Tulsa. We've got Alonzo Clark subbing on for AB Sissoko, whom been riding on a yellow card in this game and is actually the only yellow card in the entire match. Then you got Giordano Coley subbing on for Kocheski. How about that? It's been a pretty physical game here, Ken, but just one booking from Brandon Stevis.
Well, in the opening minute and a half, we saw two nasty collisions, and you think to yourself, oh yeah, we're gonna have plenty of cards tonight. And sure enough, for the most part, has it been physical? Yes. Have there been collisions? Sure. But it's been fairly clean. It's just been a good old-fashioned brawl at times tonight.
Yeah, certainly not nasty, you would say.
No.
And you were worried that maybe it would go that way after how this one kicked off. Ball sent over to the right-hand side, or at least left-hand side going forward, right-hand side of Owen Dom. Squared to the middle for Walty. I'll take it across that halfway line. Sent forward, stepping in was Delence Pierre. Tulsa looking to pick up 3 points on the road, which would catapult them up the table, as 3 points would do in the Western Conference for any team right now.
Yep.
The Riverhounds, good. The Riverhounds on the other side, looking at another 1-0 loss here. They just can't generate that moment they need. Sukanome just scrapes by Weber there. These passes trying to be incisive, but not quite cutting. Lens Pierre certainly in no rush. Medcar. Play it out wide to Stauffer. Goldthorpe. Just hungrier there. Plays it forward for Dequa. Albert Dequa. Traversing in the channel. Squares it to Walty. Walty with a good step. Takes a tug. Jackson Walty. Playing it into Sukanome. Rolling it out to Etu, and it was just a little bit too close. And we're gonna get a Cohen Markets corner kick. I don't think we've had one up to this point in the second half, Ken.
Yeah, I don't believe so either, and Jackson Walty did a really nice job linking up with Dequa and then assessing his options. You have 8 players in the box for FC Tulsa, and you're able to earn yourself a corner.
Elliot Goldthorpe from the left corner flag. Is it a set piece that can put Pittsburgh back on even terms in this game? Or can FC Tulsa lock it down from this vantage point as well? There's a foul inside the box. It'll be a free kick. Dane Jacoman holding the back of his head. So he'll have to take a moment to mend here, as we see fans enjoying Italian Heritage Night, which we have also been enjoying. I mean, we've been sometimes egregiously and sometimes more subtly sneaking in some pastas into this broadcast.
We have? Let's see.
Who would have thought?
Yeah.
Caught me red-handed.
So alphabet pasta, al dente, pastina. I suppose I can add one more.
Yeah, why not?
We have and about 14 others, give or take. I guess this will be about 15 others. It looks like Pittsburgh's just going to have to Corallini on set pieces here.
Yeah.
Jacoman Did he catch a boot to the back of the head? We'll get a closer look here. Oh no, he caught a shoulder. Yeah, he caught a shoulder trying to gauge where that ball was going to come down. Is that McCoy? I think it might have been McCoy who caught him right in the back of the head or in the neck area.
Dane Jacoman still mending here, trying to hang on to this lead for FC Tulsa, a lead that was attained through the works of Logan Dorsey, who just had a stunning finish in the first half. It was a heads-up shot, he took it early, and that was what he needed to have a window to break by Campuzano.
And look at this. It really comes out of nothing. Weber able to head it on to Dorsey, and then he missiles out of the midfield and delivers a right-footed missile. And I'm not sure Campuzano really thought that there was any way that Dorsey was actually going to let this rip. And he was a split second late on the dive, but I'm not sure it would have mattered anyways. I mean, that's as well-placed a shot as you're going to find. And FC Tulsa, they nearly had a second just moments later, but goals outside the box. Spreading the defense, taking chances, taking risks in the attack. And if you're FC Tulsa and you only had 18 goals coming into tonight, to see that happen, that attacking display, get that result, the ball hit the back of the net after what was really an offensive death march over the weekend, that has to feel good. That could open floodgates. And then in the second half, we almost saw Pittsburgh keeper caught off his line. It's been creative, FC Tulsa potential goal scoring.
Logan Dorsey just bent that meatball around Campuzano, landed on the plate. That one's not a pasta, so that won't be included in the counter.
Okay.
It's still in the spirit.
That's right. You can only do that. It's getting late.
It is getting late. The well's running a little dry. We're about to hit 90 minutes transpired. FC Tulsa had to hang on for a good stretch there. They're going to try to work out some of the clock in the attacking half. Sukanome goes to ground to win it back for the Hounds. As we hit 90 minutes, 7 minutes more will be tacked on. That is plenty of time. Elmedkar dragging it out to Dorsey. Finds Pierre, who will return the favor. Looking to play keep away here, the Scissor Tails. They're looking to fly home and start thinking about a game next Wednesday. Meanwhile, it is a tight and long turnaround for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. They have to play on Saturday across over the West Coast against the Oakland Roots.
Now this is just what you have to weather in a USL Championship season. Travel can be a grind. All these coaches know it, they prepare for it, and you deal with it because everybody has to.
We're getting to that part of the year too where these matches, you could argue, are the most intense matches of the regular season because you get that opening quarter, you're starting to figure things out, or you're really just learning everything. Second quarter, you're figuring things out. The fourth quarter, you got some teams that are already out of the mix, and so sometimes the motivation can stoop a little bit. But in that third quarter, everybody's still in it, and some teams are in desperation mode. Speaking of desperation, here's a cross. Couple of limbs colliding there. Two bodies on the turf.
Clark went down. Dequa went down. Jacoman went down. There you see the three-way collision. Dequa, who was on his back in there, had his legs make contact with Clark, who then went tumbling over him. I think it was all incidental contact. I believe it was all incidental contact. But I also think that clinches we're not just going to have 7 minutes of added time.
Brandon Stevis will be the one to have the say on that one. We've gone through 2 of those 7 minutes.
We asked Deco if he was okay, and Deco said lasagna. That might be the last one.
Lasagna, yeah. Ordonez had it poked away. Weber. And that was an offside situation there for Dorsey, who don't even think was the intended target of that pass, but it got by Ordonez.
But that's fine. That's just quality on the ball, and you take more time.
Dom winning some more time for Tulsa. Jumping on that pass. Now he's in the corner, and he does very well.
That's his textbook as it comes. Wait for Kelp to come over. Blast it off his shin. Take more time off the clock. Such a professional outing tonight from FC Tulsa, especially if they can see this through.
Campuzano will blast it down the field. Dequa looking for the chest and turn straight off the goal kick. Goldthorpe. No whistle there. Brandon Stevis making his opinion very clear, and that is that nothing was to be had with that contact and move.
Yeah, he was shoulder to shoulder with Stauffer. And those are just 2 bodies that are trying to get the edge along the touchline. And that's been sort of the night, a microcosm of it for Pittsburgh. Not a ton of sketchy moments for FC Tulsa. And now look out here.
Dorsey playing it in centrally. Sliding in was Coley. Couldn't quite connect.
That did not miss by much. Dorsey able to curl this, and Coley just a second late. He was well marked.
Kelp trying to cut it forward for Sukanome.
It's just so hard to break this back line down. And they're playing straight line at the top of the box, and then they're all collapsing if the ball gets within 30 yards. You've got to have a lot of precision, a lot of want, and perhaps an aerial attack, and Pittsburgh hasn't been able to figure that out.
Goldthorpe trying to hone that into somebody at 2.
Now, Deacon was telling the referee, I'm being held. They're grabbing jersey, they're grabbing arm, and he's right. But it's very, very subtle. And you're gonna see the delivery here, headed to the back post. And Deekwa took a little bit of a nudge just outside the 6-yard box from Dom. But there's nothing there that the referee really needs to look at or consider. But it just speaks to what we've been discussing. FC Tulsa has neutralized, accounted for Deekwa very well in this second half.
Vieira into the box, it goes for Sukanome! Nearly stole the show in his debut.
Now, we said aerial attack. That would be the way to break down FC Tulsa, and it nearly happened in his debut. To the near post, just couldn't direct it on target. The ball was there, the weight was there, the head was there, the accuracy just was not, and it would have been a tricky finish. It might end up being too little too late. The best opportunity of the night, near the death.
Sukanome launches it down the pitch. All will chase. Dom will tap it out. No whistle yet from Brandon Stevis. You mentioned there's a little bit more lagging time in stoppage time, so they'll be afforded another opportunity, the Riverhounds. Tulsa trying to hang on to all 3 points here. Ordonez the last to touch it, and the final whistle sounds. A little bit of payback for 2025. FC Tulsa come to the Steel City and take all 3 points.
We knew it wasn't going to be pretty. We knew it was going to be a grinded out affair. It was going to look like rugby at times. It was all of those things. It checked all those boxes, but FC Tulsa, what a professional performance from them. They get the 13th minute goal on a banger, and then they bow up, and they rely on their character and their personality, which is to punch and punch and punch and frustrate you, and it gets them all 3 points in what has traditionally been the toughest place to play in the USL Championship.
3 points for FC Tulsa as we take a look at tonight's Modelo Man of the Match, which is Jackson Walty, celebrating those with a fighting spirit like Jackson, whose determination and skill truly embody the mark of a fighter.
Well, before that near miss in the 96th minute, it was Walty in the second half who delivered an absolute dime over the top, looking for Charles All. All was one more quality touch away from drawing this match level, but Walty was one of the few consistencies in the attack. He poked, he prodded, could not find the final result, but Jackson Walty was the class of the Pittsburgh attack. It's why he's the Modelo Man of the Match.
And the class for FC Tulsa was Logan Dorsey as he helps his team to 3 points here. The game's done, but we still got post-game content coming up next on ESPN+, so we will see you on the other side of this break.
At FNB, we rewrote the rules of banking and made getting everything you need a whole lot easier. Experience the one-of-a-kind eStore Common app. Checking, savings, loans, credit cards. One application, done in minutes. No hoops, no hassles, no surprises. Just one common app for more than 50 business and consumer products.
Can your bank do that? Didn't think so.
Welcome to FNB. Let's get started.
Here in Pittsburgh, strength, pride, and teamwork matter, just like at Home Genius Exteriors, a top-rated roofing, siding, windows, and doors contractor. Call now and get 50% off roofing materials, plus no payments till 2027, and we're proud to offer an extra 10% military discount. Schedule your free, no-obligation home inspection today. Call 412-528-6526. Home Genius Exteriors, proud sponsor of your Pittsburgh Riverhounds.
We're back here in Pittsburgh, where FC Tulsa have walked into FNB Stadium and downed the Riverhounds 1-0. Mark Schoenster, Ken Levicka with you here on the broadcast. Here are the full-time highlights presented by Corona.
Here is the lone goal of the match. There's the delivery from Weber. There's the run from Dorsey. There's the blast from Dorsey. A sure right foot right by Campuzano, and that would be all that FC Tulsa would need. And what an explosive tally it was.
Here's the save of the game presented by Edgar Snyder and Associates.
Campuzano couldn't make the save on the FC Tulsa goal. He's able to make a sprawling right-handed save once again on Dorsey just 14 minutes later to keep it 1-0. Good pursuit, good read, good IQ, Campuzano.
And that nearly helped them have an equalizer here in the play of the game, brought to you by Epic Insurance.
Sukanome just wide of the near post in the 96th minute, the most glorious opportunity of the evening for Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Tantalizingly, frustratingly, devastatingly close. FC Tulsa able to hang on.
Here's the match stats brought to you by Restano Heating and Cooling.
Pittsburgh ends up winning the possession battle. Doesn't matter. FC Tulsa has no issues with that. They hunkered down to get the job done in the second half. FC Tulsa, 10 shots. Pittsburgh continues to have issues pulling the trigger. They're held to 7 in this match tonight. 4 FC Tulsa corners and only 1 yellow on the evening in what was a very body-on-body contest.
Well, it certainly doesn't make up for the lack of the finals trophy, but FC Tulsa will get a little bit of revenge here against the Riverhounds in 2026, and that is where our show will end. For our entire broadcasting crew, including those who had to count how many pastas we mentioned at the broadcast, we thank you for watching. For Ken Levicka and I'm Mark Schoenster. We thank you for watching as well. We hope you have a good rest of your week. We'll see you next time. FC Tulsa victorious 1-0.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.